Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail community news, through hiker update, and trail information. Well, a lot of news to get to today, a lot of things going on. Not going to talk about the balloon or anything like that. If you don't know what balloon I'm talking about, well, hopefully you're out there on the trail and isolated from all that. Let's talk about what's going on with the trail out there. So, hadn't had that many folks that have started yet, but we have had some folks from 2022 that are working on finishing up their Sobo. So Diesel's still out there. She has made it to Hot Springs, North Carolina. So she's got somewhere around 274 miles to go, including the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. She's got White Sox, who's going to be joining her, who finished the through hike and was part of her hiking family. And White Sox will be back with her to go through the Smokies there. So that's pretty neat that she's going to get an opportunity to do that. And she's also been meeting a lot of Nobo starters who have come through, or not a lot because we hadn't had a lot start and gotten to that point, but she has been meeting some. So that is very cool. Birthday Girl has made it to New York. Now, I have not been commenting and updating on Birthday Girl because I didn't know she was out there or who she was. But I've had several people reach out to me over the past week to 10 days and talk to me about Birthday Girl. So I wanted to find out who Birthday Girl was, and she is a 76-year-old former or retired school teacher for special education students, and she is working on her through hike. So she has got to, she's doing a flip-flop, and she's got to March her birthday, which is March 30th. That's when she started, March 30th, 2022. So she's got to March 30th, 2023 to finish her through hike. 6 months of that was off trail. She fell down, and I think she broke an elbow or something like that. Had to have orthopedic surgery, had to have rehab. She's back on trail. She's going to get finished there. I've got all the faith in the world that she will. She is already done with New Jersey, and she is into New York, and she's just got to get to New Hampshire. And I don't know if it's New Hampshire state line, or she's got to get through. Hopefully it's the New Hampshire state line. If you're out there and you know, leave a comment down below because I know everybody else wants to know. But that is really neat to see somebody out there doing that of her generation, and gives me faith for me when I get ready to get out there. But in any case, if she finishes, I believe she will be the record holder of the oldest female to complete a through hike. Now, of course, we had Grandma Gatewood, and I'm not sure how old she was, and I don't think she was doing a through hike necessarily. I think she was doing like some section hikes that got put together, but it doesn't matter. Grandma Gatewood is awesome. So in any case, looking forward to Birthday Girl finishing that. If you're up in New York, and between New York and or New Jersey and New Hampshire, you'd like to help her out. She is there have been different trail angels and different people coming out there hiking with her. She does have a person that's hiking with her just for her safety, and other trail angels and people have been helping them along the way. So you can go to her Facebook page, and her Facebook page is right here. His Facebook page is Birthday Girl on her through hike or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, go to that Facebook page as a minimum. Spur her on. You'll have to join. You'll have to be given permission to join, but join that and spur her on, keep her going. If you'd like to support her in some way, shape, or form, there is a GoFundMe account for her to help her with some of her expenses. She's got some pets at home that people are having to look after, and she's having to hire some folks to look after. So any case, awful neat to see her out there. Can't wait to see her finish. And then speaking of finish, we had somebody that finished in October 2022, but she just got back to me and told me that, and that was Moss. And so I know that's been a while back, but certainly anybody's finish from class of 2022, we want to give them a shout out for that. So congratulations on that, Moss. Also, there's other through hikers in all classes that watched this channel, and she felt like even though it was so late, that somebody out there in her tramley that she'd lost touch with, or one of the tramleys that she had hooked up with along the trail, might want to know she finished. So awesome, Moss. Very happy to oblige you with that, and congratulations. So 2023 folks that have reported in this past week that are out there on the trail, and that's YOLO. He got started there at Springer. and he has already made it to Neil's Gap. So congratulations to him. He's got that headset on there, and I went and looked at his YouTube channel. Don't typically have time to look at everybody's YouTube or Instagram or Facebook that are on my support list, but I wanted to find out that special type of gear he's got there. What is he doing with that gear? So haven't seen that before in a gear inventory, and he's using that to as he walks and films, he talks into that, and I don't know if it's Bluetooth or direct lined into his phone or camera or whatever he's using there, but anyway, that's what he's using that headset for. So pretty cool. Not sure about the pouch he's got in front of him, what that is, but of course people wear pouches and stuff in front of them all the time. So anyway, he did get started there. Mike and Fran, they get started at Amicalola Falls State Park. Looks like they did the approach trail, and then Jeff and Maia, of course, they are already out there, and they were supposed to be in Fontana yesterday, which means they should be moving, unless they take a Nero or Zero, they should be moving on into the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. They crossed paths with a world-renowned 2022 AT Thru Hiker, and that was Disco. So got a chance to hike with Disco myself, and got to meet her husband and Bill, and so that's pretty neat to just hang out with them for a while, and actually hike with her on the Foothills Trail last year on our inaugural Foothills hike. So pretty neat to see two different generations, 2020 or iterations, 2022 and 2023, running into each other out there on the trail. So I called down at Amicalola Falls State Park, and we have had a total this year of 102 people step off. 10 of those were this past weekend. So we hadn't got ramped up really good going yet. Of course, the bubble is a few weeks off there, but it will be here before you know it. And then starting next week from my support list, we've got Elliot Dick, Tie-Dye, Ross 08, Steady 08, NC Wild, and Mac. So looking forward to their updates and all of those folks getting started. We're up somewhere around 166 people that are registered for my support list. The link is down below for you to put yourself on that support list, along with when your start date, as well as your social media. So the kind of the purpose of the support list is clearinghouse where people can go to and see your social media, and then that way they can give you add a boy or add a girl or add a they all the way up throughout the whole course of your trip. But if you don't have social media or you haven't updated it there yet, then it's going to be kind of hard for them to do that. But you can update me just simply through my email or through Facebook or Instagram, instant message, any of those. You're more than welcome to update me, and I would ask that you do so that other hikers out there who watch the channel, including thru hikers who are on the trail with you, might want to know where you are. I've had thru hikers in the past tell me that they watch my channel because they want to know where other people are on the trail, and they don't have time to go there to everybody's individual place and individual social media and find that out for themselves. So that's what I'm here for, to support everybody out there on the trail and help everybody connect. So send me those updates. Thursday or Friday is a great time because I typically script on Saturday and either film Saturday or Sunday. So look forward to getting those from you. We did have one got off trail that's giving me that notification. That was great grandpa. He had to get off due to some family emergencies back home. Hopefully he will be able to get back on. And throughout the course of the hiker season, if you have to get off due to injury or whatever reason you have to get off, please let us know. Let me know, and I'll let the masses out there know and let the hiker community know that you had to get off. We care about you. We want to know when you get off, and if you're posting to social media and you go a long period of time when we don't, we kind of get worried about you. People have disappeared out there before, and we don't want anything to happen to you. So please let us know. We care about each and every person in the hiker community, and it's a great community, and it's one that people care about each other. So send me those in. Even if it's just a simple, I'm off the trail, don't know if I'll be able to get back on, at least we'll know everything's good to go with you. So registrations for, where are we on registrations with the ATC? So last week we had around 2,075. This week we're up to 2,270, so that's a total increase of NOBO of 195. Flip-floppers, we were at 112. We're now at 125. That gives us an increase of 13. And Subo, we were at 67. Now we're at 77, so that's 10. So we have had a total increase, and this is actually over the past 2 weeks, of 218 folks that have registered with the ATC. So not everybody registered, depending on who you ask with the ATC. 10% or 25% don't register that actually do their through hike. So not everybody registers. Not everybody checks in down at Amicalola Falls State Park. So there typically is more people than that, but that is the best record that we have. We are maxed out for 4 days right now on the trail, and those are the typical max out days that you see. And looks like we've got 1 day coming up that's at 49, and we're just one registration away from being maxed out for that as well. So that would be on March 13th. Maxed out meaning 50 people or more have registered their hike with the ATC. That's the carrying capacity per day that the ATC, the trail, can handle in a starting out down in Georgia. We've also got a lot of Subo folks that have registered starting at Katahdin on June 1st, and so typically the idea is that Katahdin will open up June 1st. That is not always the case. I don't know if you can hear that plane. I think it's a Chinese surveillance plane. I'm in the woods, though. I think we're good. Okay, no need to shoot it down until it gets over water. All right. Anyway, back to the Appalachian Trail. So we got a lot of Subos again that are registered June 1st. There's no guarantee it's going to open up on June 1st. They have bad weather up there, and they have been having really bad weather here lately. Of course, June 1st is a long ways away. Then those people that are starting on that day, they either have to wait there somehow, limited capacity at the park that time of year, or they have to wait in town, or they have to go ahead and start their hike and come back and do that later, in which case their Subo becomes a flip-flop, and a lot of times they run out of money time they get to Springer and they can't get back up there to finish. So I met some folks coming through a couple years ago who, when it opened late, they were not going to be able to go back and summit Katahdin, so essentially they didn't finish their through hike. So keep that in mind when you're buying your airplane tickets and getting ready to go up there, that it don't always open on June 1st. Looking back at some historical registrations this time of year, so this time of my reporting over the years. So again, this year we were up 2,472. Last year on February 4th, we were at 2,937. And then in 21, we were at 2,613 on February 6th. And on the 20th, or 2020, February 6th, we were at 1,760. So 2020, maybe 2021 were kind of COVID pandemic years. People weren't so sure. Everybody inundated the trail that got took off due to COVID or delayed their hike due to COVID in 2022. So we saw a huge rise in that. So we will see how this pans out in the future, how things go. So trail news is up next. Before we get to trails news, I ask that you, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, go and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. That really helps the channel when you do that. And leave a comment. Love all your comments. Love watching seeing your comments and answering those and everything. And I don't always get back to them right away, but I'll read every one of them and I will get back to them eventually. And so just appreciate that. What you do out there to help this channel. Occasionally get a super thanks. That's the means to do that is down below, and that really helps support the channel, helps me to do more for the hiker community and those things. So thanks a lot for all y'all do for this channel. It's very much a community channel. It is what you make it. So just keep that in mind. So some trail news out there. The Leapfrog Cafe is in fundraising mode. He is raising money for his Trail Angel work that he does. That's his ministry that he gives back to the hiker community. And so it's a really awesome thing that he does, going out there and feeding people's belly, showing up in the middle of nowhere on some fire road that you probably wouldn't bring your goat up. All of a sudden, there's nothing like coming out of the woods right there, and there's that white van with all the stickers on it and fresh ground. there, and he's got a whole banquet laid out for you, ready to go. And he makes it for each. He'll make it for each hiker especially. So if you walk up there and you tell him you want a grilled cheese sandwich, you got a fresh grilled cheese sandwich. And he makes some of the best grilled cheese sandwiches around. Probably the best I've ever had, with the exception of Trail Boss. She makes a good grilled cheese sandwich as well. So anyway, he is in fundraiser mode, and a really neat thing he's doing this year is he is tithing with the money he gets. So if you are from a biblical, you know anything about the Bible, or you go to church, you know a tithe is 10%. So Bible teaches us that we're supposed to give 10% of what we bring in back to the ministry of the church. So what Fresh Ground's doing is 10% of what he gives in, he is giving back out to other trail angels. So all the money he raises goes back out to hikers. But 10% he's given to other trail angels and other ministries that the Lord puts on his mind. So he's already given money to several trail angels. He's actually tithed twice already this year from what he's raised so far. So kudos from him. He is running a first-class ministry, first-class fundraising effort there, first-class trail angel for what he does. So thank you, Fresh Ground, for everything you do for the hiker community. Last time I believe I told you that the pack scale had been stolen from Amicalola Falls State Park, and they did not plan to get another one because they had had it stolen before. And a member of the hiker community who's a subscriber wrote in to me, saw it on this channel, and his name is Daryl, and I'm going to mess this up, Daryl, and I'm sorry, Daryl Gabrich. And Daryl decided he'd take it upon himself to give back to the hiker community. He bought a scale and he mailed it down there to Amicalola Falls State Park, and he put a tracking number on it and made sure that it was received down there. So that is awesome, Daryl. Thanks for being an awesome person in the hiker community. I had received a couple replies from some people that their packs still are not being weighed as of the 28th, and the scale showed up before then, but I did call down there today, and they are using that scale. So thanks a lot, Daryl. Greatly appreciate that. Before, they were just telling you to guess. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I could guess my pack weight. I would probably guess too high, because it always depends on when you ask me. If you ask me at the house, it would be lower. If you ask me while I'm out there on the trail after tugging up a mountain, I would tell you it probably weighed 65 pounds. But anyway, that's awesome, Dale. Appreciate what you did there. And then there is construction going on there around Robbinsville at mile marker Nobo 150. And that's there at Stokoa Gap. So they're widening the highway, and they're also building a land bridge across the road there. So land bridge is basically a bridge you build across the road, and instead of laying concrete or asphalt, they're going to put dirt and soil and plant trees and landscape it, and the trail will go across that land bridge. So they're having to reroute the trail. They're rerouting the trail during construction, and they will be rerouting the trail permanently to go over that land bridge. But the land bridge is there also mainly for wildlife, to get wildlife across. So I don't know the track record of how well those things work. I mean, they're in a certain area. I suppose you need to put a critter crossing sign up so the critters know where they're supposed to cross, and it would have to face, away from the highway, so the critters would be able to read it, right? Because that's where deer cross at deer crossing signs, because that's a designated deer crossing. So the land bridge would be a designated critter crossing. But then also, the critters out there, they would have to update Guthook's app so that they could see it in their smartphones when they get across there, and they may have to give out some smartphones to the critter just to make sure they got them, maps or something like that, because critters, they may not know to use that land bridge. They may actually go half mile up the road where they always cross and go up there instead of at the land bridge. So need to get the word out to the critters that there's going to be a land bridge, so just hold your horses. We'll have one for you in a year or two, and when we do, that'll be the place for you to cross. So in the meantime, look both ways before you cross the highway there at Stokoa Gap. And then you may have heard that the Overmountain shelter is going to be decommissioned. In other words, they're tearing it down. So it was built there in '86, and up until I think around 2012 2020, they condemned it and looped it off with no trespassing tape. You weren't supposed to be staying there, but it was a shelter that is, really one of the most unique shelters on the Appalachian Trail. It was a barn. It was a barn that, when the land was acquired there by the National Forest Service, they took that over. I think there was also a house there, but they tore that house down. They left the barn, presumably to leave it as a shelter for the hikers. Otherwise, why would you leave the barn there? If you tore the house down, then why didn't you go ahead and tear the barn down? Then it wouldn't be a controversy now. But they're tearing the barn down, and also they're tearing the privy down that's there. So a couple of things. I've stayed at that barn, at that shelter before. It is an awesome, awesome view that you have there in the morning and at night, looking down the valley, looking up at the stars. Probably the privy here has one of the best views of any privy on the shelter, because as you look out over that same valley. People at the shelter it's only got 3 sides, so people at the shelter can kind of look around and get a view of you. But the privy was and the shelter were very unique, and the ATC and the National Forest Service have just decided they don't have the money to save it, and so they'd just rather wreck it and tear it down. So it's quite a shame that they're doing that. At this point, of course, anytime the ATC decides they're going to do something, well, that's just the way it's going to get done, whether we like it or not. Not going to spend the money, even though they get all kind of money, millions coming in every year, and people have offered to pay to fix it up. They just decided they're not going to do it. A couple of the reasons that they have given are, in my opinion, very disingenuous. One of them is that the ATC has indicated that it's really not necessary. Hikers don't need the Overmountain shelter because the Stan Murray shelter is just a few miles away, and they can just go there. So a couple points to that. One, the Stan Murray shelter can fit about 6 people in there, and that's a tight fit. So you're not going to get this barn shelter the same capacity from the barn shelter, from the Overmountain shelter, into this little bitty shelter here. So Stan Murray shelter is not going to be able to handle all that. So that's a stupid remark. Also, the Stan Murray shelter don't have a privy. So now you're creating, if you're funneling everybody that's going to be at the Overmountain shelter to the Stan Murray, now you're creating toilet paper blossoms everywhere there, and so that's going to be a mess. Again, that's not in keeping with Leave No Trace when they're doing that. And Stan Murray shelter, this is a view from it. Not a great view compared to the Overmountain shelter. And then another thing they said is that it's their policy not to have a shelter within 2 miles of an open road. Well, that's BS, because you've got, and they claim that the Overmountain shelter is 2 miles within an open road. So it's not a very improved road, but that's BS. You got Rock Gap Shelter in North Carolina there at Franklin. That's like, you can actually see the road from Rock Gap Shelter. So that's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. You've got other shelters. Here's a few that I found just with a quick look off gut hooks there, up around Roan Mountain, or not Roan Mountain. I can't remember where it is now, but here's the picture of it where it's at. You got this shelter that's right there near a parking lot. Of course, you got the shelters that are on the Skyland Drive, near the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Skyland Drive. You've got just other shelters all over the place. They're within 2 miles. So don't give me that that's your policy. And another thing is, they said that they don't need. So since when did the ATC care about hikers' needs? They don't care about your needs, okay? I mean, if they are going to base everything on not having hikers' needs, then why don't they just do away with all the shelters? I mean, most long-distance trails, the PCT, the CDT, all these others, they don't have shelters, so let's just get rid of it. Let's just make the AT experience like all the rest of them. So let's just get rid of all the shelters out there. If you're going to base it on hikers' needs, I mean, the heck with tradition or the hiker wanting a different type of trail that has these shelters on there. The heck with history of how the founding fathers Benton Mackay of what he thought the trail should be, with all these different communities set up along the way and shelter set up along the way. Let's just completely change, everything about history with the ACT. Make no mistake about it, the ATC is not here for hiker needs. The ATC is here to feed this huge bureaucratic and political monster that they have become, and they could give a rat's rear end about hiker needs out there. So don't give me any of that. Just be honest with, and don't make up a bunch of BS reasons why you're getting rid of the shelter. Just say, we're not going to spend the money, and here's why we're not going to spend the money on it, and let it go at that. Don't give us a bunch of BS on it. Don't BS, because we can smell that coming a mile away. Toilet paper blossom or not. There is a comment period that if you want to make a comment to the National Forest Service, you can do that. They only did it for 20 days. I've seen other comment periods that's been open for 30 days. But that comment period is fast closing in, and that's on February 11th is the last day you can make a comment about that. I'll leave a link down below for that comment, as well as I'll leave a link down below for a video about what's going on with that shelter. And along the lines of the privy at the Overmountain shelter being removed and not pooping there anymore, pooping around the Stan Murray, and along the lines of that, Backpacker Magazine has suggested that toting your toilet paper out of the woods is what you need to be doing now. So they mention in the byline here that people just need to get over the ick and start carrying your toilet paper out, because there's it's too much toilet paper out there in the woods, and so you need to do that. And they also say that you just need to ditch that way of thinking. Well, personally, I've been throwing my toilet paper in the ditches for years now, so I'm way ahead of the curve on that. Seriously though, I dig a cat hole and get rid of it, and nobody sees it out there. Last time I checked though, toilet paper and even fecal matter is pretty water soluble, so it pretty much dissipates with the first rain. Not telling you to go out there and poop all in the woods and not use a cat hole, not what I'm saying. But not sure that people are ready to start packing out toilet paper. Of course, I know women are supposed to pack out their personal hygiene products. Toilet paper, I just don't know about that. But leave a comment down below. Tell me how you feel about that. The ATC is reporting that the bag tags have finally showed up. They didn't say finally showed up. I'm saying they finally showed up. They should have showed up when the first hikers start. They know hikers are starting when they're starting every year, so I don't know why every year the bag tags are always delayed in the first couple hikers, or the first 10, 20, 50, 75 hikers don't get their tag down there because they see the registrations when they're signing up. Why don't they just think ahead? I know that's hard to fathom, but think ahead, have the tags down there ready to go. So the folks that want those tags, and a lot of people don't want a plastic tag, they don't need that, and that's fine. But there's some people that want a souvenir. I think it's pretty neat. I'd like to have it if I was through hiking, but in any case, that's just another example of the ATC not getting their poop together and having those tags ready to go when people get down there. Ridge Runners and the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club are going to have their ambassadors down there starting on February 8th, and that's when the new check-ins will start. So once the new check-ins will start down there, they will be checking in on an iPad or something. They won't be checking in on paper, and the visitor center won't have that access to that, where I get my information from the visitor center every year. When I call down there right before I make the video to let you know how many folks have stepped off. So don't know if I have access to that or not. The Georgia Appalachian Trail Club has been, some of their members have been good in the past to send me updates about what's going on the trail, so hopefully they'll do the same this year. If not, I will not be able to give you that piece of information that I typically give you. Now, I recently had my Instagram ID. Somebody tried to steal that. So if I sent you a message from Instagram and it was something weird and funky about it, it wasn't from me. It was not from Ramdino, R-A-M-D-I-N-O. It was from Ramdino, R-A-M-D-I-I-N-O. enough of you reported, and that has been taken down now. So that shouldn't be a problem. But if I sent you a weird message, it ain't me. It is kind of weird to see that this dude or girl or whoever it was that did it had 58 followers and no posts. So I don't know how you get 58 followers on Instagram and no post, other than maybe he was just capitalizing off my name. I don't know. Not that that's anything to capitalize off of. I'm nobody special. I'm just one of you guys, one of the hiker community, but still awful weird. Roll Tide, who managed the Nauman campsite up in the Whites last season in 2022, he has now been hired by the ATC, probably one of the best things they did this year. He's been hired by them as a ridge runner through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So last year he was a northern correspondent updating us down there. This year he'll be a southern correspondent and updating us from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park about what's going on with the hikers. So looking forward to Roll Tide giving us that information. Really appreciate that from last year. Looking forward to seeing that again this year. And then finally, the whole thing of people with YouTube channels and TikTok channels and people that make money off social media and film in national parks, that's come back around full circle. So they tried to make it to several years ago to where if you were filming in the national park and you had a YouTube channel, that you were a commercial videographer, commercial photographer, and that you had to get a permit. And the permit is a whole long, ridiculous process and money involved to get that. So they tried to do it. They posted it. Then it was deemed unconstitutional by a judge, and now it's come back around and they've done it again. So until it goes to court again and gets deemed unconstitutional again, they've specifically said YouTube and TikTok. So and they've taken away the way they got around. They changed it was you had to have 5 people on your crew before you became a commercial entity. Well, now it's just one person, you filming. So in other words, if they find out you got a YouTube channel and you're monetized, then they can fine you for not having a permit, and you're required to have a permit, and remove you from the park for not doing so. So I'll keep you updated as I get updated about that. That's just a ridiculous outreach by the government, and what else is new? Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.